Paddy's review from the weekend, sporting events, start of the Premier League, Leeds against Man City. It was a brilliant result for Leeds. They started off in the first half and it was end to end. Both teams had chances, but end of the first half, they scored a great goal, well worked, but then their task became tougher when Cooper got sent off. Um, in the second half, you know, it was just a question of how long it would be before City scored. Leeds defended brilliantly. They closed the spaces, so it was tough for City to create chances. They got a lot of blocks and tackles in, so it was a good defensive performance by Leeds. And they still played the same way. They had a huge chance on the break, and it was a brilliant late goal that Dallas scored. A smash and grab win. It's been a brilliant season for Leeds, and it'd be an outstanding achievement if they were to finish in the top 10, considering it's their first year back in the league. But City, I thought they were complacent in making so many changes. Probably thought, oh, we can just turn up and win. It doesn't work like that in the Premier League. They're not over the line yet. They still have to get 11 points, so they need to earn every point because the Premier League won't just be handed to them. Also, on the weekend, it was brilliant to see Trent Alexander-Arnold score a goal. This goal will give him so much confidence, especially if he wants to make the England squad for the Euros this summer. On Sunday, it was a brilliant comeback win for Newcastle. I thought Steve Bruce made a brilliant substitution when he brought on Max from the second half, scoring a goal and an assist. This win could be massive for Newcastle in their battle to avoid relegation this season, especially with the game at hand now and a few points ahead of Fulham. This will make the task easier in staying up this season. And the big match yesterday, United and Spurs, it's been strange that United have to go behind to start playing. There's so many times this season they only start playing when you can see the goal. Like, I don't know what that is, whether it's a mental thing or an attitude, but the second half they were so much better. They came alive. They started passing the ball around better. They created chances. It's a great comeback win. I thought Paul Pogba for United was outstanding in the second half. He controlled the game with some great passing, wanted to get on the ball. He made some great runs into the box, so it was a brilliant performance by him. And great movement by Cavani for the goal. He offers United something different, so it'll be interesting to see what happens with the contract in the summer, if he wants to stay or if he leaves, because this is massive. I think United need a striker if they want to get closer to City next season. But the biggest talking points on the Premier League the weekend is VAR. Again, Friday night, that goal was, I don't know how that was disallowed. His finger offside. It should be a whole body part offside. And then when you go to the Leeds match, I know Cooper's red card was a red card, but after that, Fernandinho done something similar in the second half. Bad tackle. That didn't go to VAR. Sterling stamped a Leeds player twice. That should have been 2 yellows. Why weren't they? In the Liverpool match, Liverpool scored a perfect goal by Firmino. Disallowed. Don't know why, because it was perfectly onside. And yesterday, United and Spurs, that United goal was disallowed was a joke. The way Son rolled around on the ground was disgraceful. Like, it wasn't like it was a full force slap or punch. He barely touched him. And it was only disallowed because the way he rolled on the ground. Like, Son should have been booked for simulation. And these decisions for VAR, they're costing team results. Plus, they're making the Premier League less enjoyable. Something needs to be done. They're either going to have to stick with it or get rid of it. Simple as that. Because the Premier League, it's losing its reputation if bad decisions like that keep getting made by referees on a weekly basis. European football, El Clasico was on. Brilliant win for Madrid. Their experience again. Benzema scoring goals for fun. Kroos was good again. Scored another goal. A brilliant week for Madrid, beating Liverpool, beating Barcelona. That experience could get them over the line this year in the Spanish League and maybe the Champions League. You never know, because some of their experienced players are still quality. And Bellingham for Dortmund, I watched Dortmund this morning, the highlights of their game, and I thought Bellingham played really well. He's had a good week, played well against City, played well against the weekend. I think that he should be in the England squad in the summer because he's had a good season. I know he's only young, but I think they should bring him to the Euros. In the golf, the Masters, a brilliant performance with Matsuyama. He played really well. The 65 on Saturday was brilliant. His tee to green game was brilliant. On Sunday, you know, winning your first Masters asks a lot of questions, but I thought the par put on 5 was huge for momentum. And after that, it was a ball striking clinic. His drives was great, his second shots were great, but he had got a few dodgy moments on the back nine. The 15th hole, I don't think he should have went for that. 13th hole got lucky, could have very easily went in the bushes with a second shot, but got a break, got a birdie. Bogeyed 16, but he held on to win. A brilliant result for him, and this will be great for Japan because I think more people will pick up the game now because of that. So if the game can grow in Japan because of that victory, it'd be brilliant. And especially with the Olympics being on this summer, a win like that for a Japanese player will promote the Olympics. Which is great. The chasing pack on the final round, it didn't do much. Look at Rolls, he was 2 over. Leishman 1 over. Shoffley was up and down. He started poorly, then came back well, and then on 16 where he put the ball in the water, that finished his chances. But I think the reason why the chasing pack struggled is because how well Matsuyama played. He very rarely made a mistake, and when the leader doesn't make a mistake, you have to take on second shots. You have to force the ball, and Augusta isn't a course where you force it, because if you hit the wrong shot, it could cost you 3 or 4 shots, which is a card wrecker. But the only player I thought that played well in the chasing pack was Zalatoris. He played really well, no fear at all. His tee to green game was solid. For someone that's so young, he showed no signs of fear or anything like that. And it was a brilliant finish for him. This will do so much for his confidence for the season ahead. And, coming second, there's so much stuff that'll come with it, like, world ranking points, which will get him up the ladder, and that'll make his card easier retained this year in the PGA Tour. So great finish for him. A brilliant final round by Ram to finish in the top 5, but it was just a pity it didn't happen a day earlier, because that would have been great if Ram could have been closer to the leaders going the final round. Rose played well. He had a brilliant opening round to start 65, probably one of the rounds of the year, but after that he kind of dried up, didn't hit the ball really well, and then a short game. I know it saved him on Saturday, but there's only so many up and downs you can get. But a good finish for him, especially with the Ryder Cup on this year that he wants to make. And it was great to see Lowry finish under par. That will do well for him, considering the big summer golf ahead. And a gutsy performance by Robert McIntyre. His first Masters, bogeyed 16, bogeyed 17, then birdied 18. A brilliant finish for him, which guarantees him a spot in next year's Masters. That was brilliant for him. On the Grand National, what a ride by Rachel Blackmore on Manila Times. A brilliant result. Rachel has done so much for racing over the last few months. The way she performed at Cheltenham and then winning the Grand National, she's really promoted women's sport. And, she keeps going that she could get the champion jockey of the year, because there's not much in it between her and Paul Townsend. And rugby to finish, Leinster came back well. He started the match poorly, went behind, but some great tries by Larmer. I don't know which one of the game. And also I thought Ross Bourne was outstanding. Some of his kicks were very important in Leinster winning the match, which puts them into the semi-final. It was a great weekend for sport. I hope you enjoyed it.